Welcome, everybody. This is the hot seat, and this is a very special day as we have a very interesting character in our chair today. And this is going to be, the Dutch Rudder's version where we don't just come and, hang out and talk. We drink a beer. And I'm actually hanging out here with this guy, and I'm drinking an IPA. He's drinking an IPA. And what else can you say about the Dutch Rudder than his really cool YouTubes, his really cool information on YouTube where, he talks about the game, he talks about all the really cool things that's going on in the state of the Scopely Marvel Strike Force world. Except for just, hey, let's find out more about this guy. I mean, we don't get to know so much. It's okay if you're private. But you know what? The cool thing that we get to know is more about this guy as we go through the hot seat. Are you, my friend, feeling a little warm today? I mean, can't be just the beer.
Yeah, no, the weather's pretty nice outside. It's back in the 60s and back to normal Texas weather now. So out of the cold snap, and it doesn't look like we'll be getting another one this year, or probably for some time. So I am just enjoying my brew and hanging out with Sage, which we've never really done before. We've never really done a collaboration. This is our first one.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
I've always enjoyed your streams too. I enjoyed the music. I think we probably have pretty similar tastes in music. Maybe we need to do a separate stream or video on that sometime. It might be fun to hang out, and maybe we can do guest DJing on each other's stream or something.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I know you like Galantis. I mean, are you the peanut butter to my jelly? Is that what this is going on here?
Maybe we could figure something out. That might be a lot of fun. You can make some Spotify playlists and just pick one for a night and try to highlight some specific genres or decades or something. It might be fun.
That's great. That's really funny. Well, we're going to get started because the first thing that we want to know about you is a couple things. You're a very interesting streamer. You're well-seasoned in the game. You're well-seasoned as a streamer. You're well-seasoned as, as an adult. And we want to know, does this, because your world's going to be changing very soon. How is this going to be changing the idea of hey, I have a full-time job. I also do streaming where I'm really good at it. Where is this going to take you? You have and not to get completely into it, but you're going to go into a completely different world. Are you going to be still Dutch Rudder, or are you going to be, Daddy Dutch Rudder?
Yeah, no, I already have one kid who's 2. So the second one is on the way, and beginning of May is the due date. So right now, should be early May, late April is when she'll be here. So we're, preparing for that. So that's why I've kind of put it out there a few times that I'm probably going to fall off the face of the earth in here in a month and a half, 2 months. Probably won't be streaming or doing much anything really. I'll barely be able to keep up with the game. Because I've been through this once before, and I knew what it was like back then. At least this time we'll at least have some experience taking care of an infant, so it'll be a little bit easier to learn. But again, it's just such a time commitment. Kids are a lot of work. They take a lot of your time, and it's just it's just how it is. So I do streaming for fun. I don't do this as an income. I don't do this as a living. All the money that I get as far as ad revenue or donations or subs and all that, it just goes right back into my gaming and fun, really. Whether it's buying stuff for the game in order to showcase new characters or something like that, or getting new hardware and stuff for streaming. I bought new camera, new headset, I got a green screen now behind me officially. So I have some upgrades to do still in the works, but that's what I do with it. It's for fun. It's been a hobby of mine for, I don't know, as long as I can remember, probably since I was 3 years old. So it's just whatever games happen to interest me, and that's what I like to do. But I primarily stream MSF because I think it's a very easy game to stream, right? It's very simple. It's relatively easy to keep things on the screen and make sure that you're showcasing what people want to see while also interacting. It's easy to keep up with the chat, whereas other games that are much more focused and intensive, it's harder to focus on chat when you're trying to see if somebody's trying to shoot you around a corner and stuff, right? There's not as much interaction that you can really have with a group there. And so I think that's kind of neat about this game. Is it affords a lot of pauses and breaks for you to think about what you're doing and interact with the audience, which is really good.
Yeah, 100%. That you couldn't hit that actually on the head even better. When you're playing MSF, when you're streaming and like there's this thing called streamer brain, and like streaming is a very interesting like world. But once you're playing like off the game, you're on, you know what to do and this and that. When you're streaming, you have so many different things that you're doing that like if you're not keeping up with chat, if you're playing like a Call of Duty kind of game, like you're just completely left turned into everything. So this really kind of focus you on tasks where you can multitask simply and cleanly and not be too overwhelmed by, oh, hey, I forgot to do that. Oh, I need to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, I messed up because of this. I mean, there are times when you mess up, but there's,
It's actually a rather forgiving game when it comes to that, right?
Yes,
that's
very
the nice thing
forgiving
about it from a streaming perspective, because you can let it sit for a minute in a lot of cases and focus on something else, fix whatever, or change scenes and all that, come right back to it and keep going. And so you don't have to do as much on the fly. Whereas with like a lot of the intensive first-person shooter kind of games,
Yeah.
those are such a pain to try to stream. I've tried doing that with some of them, but it's just like, one, you have to have excellent hardware to do it, because
Yeah.
capturing all of that in first person, like full screen mode at 1080p or whatever, is really, really intense on your computer.
Yeah.
But also then having the processes running in the background for your camera, your stream, if you're doing like scenes and all that, it taxes your system quite a bit. So you really need a big rig to do that.
Yeah.
But then yeah, the interaction isn't very easy to do unless you're just chatting on Discord or something with other friends or something. Like it's just it makes it harder. But this game affords a lot of ability to interact with people, try different things, to talk through things, and I think that's kind of neat. And if you're a very talkative type person, I think it affords a lot of options for you to focus on different aspects of the game. And so that's what I kind of like about it, is that you do have a lot of different ways that you can handle it. And I think we see that in the variety of streamers in the community and what they tend to focus on. Whether it's strategy and planning, and or even just the more showy and flashy, like entertainment type streamers that do that. But that's their thing. Like, there's people that do that. They're way better at it than me. I don't try to focus on that kind of stuff at all. But I appreciate what they do, and I appreciate what they bring to the table too. But you have to realize there's just so many different varieties of streamers and what they focus on, and that's you have to make your own niche, your own brand, right? And then figure out how that works with the games that you play.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many things there. That was a lot to that was really well said. A lot to unpack, but also something you did forget is actually King Polo did say is that you actually can DJ and play this game at the same time. Who does that?
True.
What kind of crazy person does? Crazy people do that. I don't even know how that even how that even happens. I wouldn't even know what to do. So
it's so much fun though. You get to get requests from the audience and stuff, and what you do though. I mean, you have a lot of stops in the gameplay, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people are there for the party, so it doesn't really matter if you're slowing down here and there to catch up on chat or see what people are saying, or take requests, which I also appreciate too. You're like a streamer jukebox, and then you also add your own flair to it. That's awesome. That's why I enjoy your streams.
All I want is
Thursday nights.
All I want is a nickel. All I want is one nickel. Just put it in the slot. There you go.
Exactly. I usually try to stream on Thursday just so I can raid to you, because I enjoy what you do, and it is very unique compared to pretty much everyone else in the MSF streaming community that I can think of.
Postage actually brings a question to you really quickly, and he says, "Why do you happen to stream so late?"
Yeah, I can answer that. So first off, I've just always been a night owl type person. Before we ever had kids and stuff, my usual bedtime was like 2 a.m. anyway. Like, it's just how I am. Go to sleep around 2, get up at 7, 8 a.m., whatever it is, and then get to work. That's just how I operate best on that. I can't go to sleep before midnight. If I do, I'll wake up at like 4 a.m. and just be like wide awake, and I hate that. So I really I've been like that since I was a kid. Honestly, I've just always been a nighttime person. So for me, streaming from about 10 p.m. to like 1 a.m. or whatever is like not a big deal. Like I'm usually up doing stuff then anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Like I usually go to sleep after 1 anyway. So whether I'm streaming or not, it doesn't really make a difference. But I generally stream. I hang out. That's my me time to do whatever at night.
Yeah.
And that's why I do it then. And also, I mean, that's just it works for me. Like I'm not gonna adjust my schedule to meet streaming audience demands or anything like that. Like I said, I do this for fun, so I want it to fit my life, my schedule. And then the other thing is I do the dual stream to YouTube, so all of my VODs end up there. So if people can't catch the stream live, which a lot of people tell me that a lot, that's probably the most feedback I get, or most common feedback is that, oh man, I can't stay up late like you. It's just like, all right, just watch it the next day. It's fine. So,
We're all 18-year-olds trying to watch your show, okay?
Yeah, it's just funny though. I mean, I'm 36, right? But I feel like I'm a young 36. It hasn't affected. At least my metabolism hasn't caught up with me yet, so I can still drink beer and have fun. I figure I got a couple more good years until that drops off, but I'll probably stop streaming before then. So we'll see.
Well, your 15th anniversary of your 21st has really shown its soul. It's really shown its soul.
Yeah.
It looks like we are about ready to go. Are you feeling good right now? Because I think we're, I think chat's ready. I think we've gotten to know you a little bit, gotten that hot seat a little warm for you, get you a little, wiggle room. I hope you guys are excited to hear some of the answers that Dutchy has to say. And you are probably one of the probably one of the only people that uniquely restreams on both panels of YouTube and Twitch, and that's a advantage for you because you can be on both sides at the same time. Now, and which is really cool. So let's go ahead and get started because the hot seat is coming up, and as you guys know, the hot seat is where we always ask burning questions to our guest in the hot seat to find out if they can reach the hot limit peak, or if they're just cool as ice and sitting there and feel, well, kind of like Texas was a couple weeks ago. You remember this hot seat, the place where we ask burning questions as we go up to the line of controversy and over the line of fun. Let's get started. All right, guys, welcome as we invite the Dutch Rudder into the hot seat, everybody. Welcome. Yes. You're in like the Coliseum right now. You are a warrior. We are trying to see if you can withstand the heat monster, the fire monster. Now, we're going to ask you a couple of questions here. I hope you're ready. Hype it up in the chat, everyone, as we get started. Are you guys ready for some of these questions as well? And you know what? Take a sip of beer, because every time that he answers a question, he needs to take a sip. And this isn't, a pound to drink your session. We're obviously drinking beer, but at the same time, we want to make sure that he's drinking and giving us the real Dutch world that we're accustomed to. So we're gonna start out with a very easy question. Oh, yeah, right. What is the flight velocity of an unladen swallow? That's very funny. Now,
28 kilometers per hour.
Very funny. What movie is that from, actually?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I love that movie. Do you like that movie? Have you?
Absolutely, I love that movie.
It's. I mean, the fact that you knew the answer immediately is even better. But
yeah.
It's just one of those. All right, let's start with an easy one here. Your favorite Marvel character, story, or movie? You can pick all three or just one each. Which?
I think my favorite movie overall has been Guardians of the Galaxy. That was the most fun I've had watching an MCU movie so far. Um, Storyline, I think the entire just Infinity Stones saga. I mean, although that's super super long, has been amazing. And then as far as characters go, I mean, I gotta go with like Rocket Raccoon. I think he's one of the most entertaining of the bunch. He was also my favorite MSF character for a long time in game,
Yeah.
until he kind of got meta, or he got crept out of the meta after the first year or so. But I always enjoyed him in the movies and everything, and he's a really entertaining character just because he's hilarious, and
Right.
he also likes to blow things up a lot. I think that's really I think that's a great quality to have in a superhero kind of character. But he's also kind of uh, a gray area character, right? So
Right.
sometimes he does things that aren't very heroic.
Yeah,
And
right.
he also gets the group kind of in trouble sometimes, but it's very entertaining. And that's what I go for in these things. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy myself.
I think the funniest moment with, or the most heartfelt but funniest moment that he probably had was when they're in the bar with, everybody. And not only is he like getting picked on, but he's such a loudmouth with high damage that he's about to blow up the entire place. But he's also so emotionally driven, like, hey, like, I'm the smartest person here. It's
Yeah.
just, he's so complex, but so amazing because he's really a character that we really can all kind of see either ourselves in at some point.
Yeah. He's
Um,
also best buddies with Groot too. So you gotta love
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. Now let's check out. Moving on to this next thing here because we're talking Marvel. What is what is something that you want to tell us about what got you into MSF? Why'd you really choose to stream it? Besides it being an easy game, and like really like, why MSF?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've always been into gaming. Ever since I was a kid, when I was like 3 years old, my family moved to Washington D.C. because my dad's in the military. We got reassigned there, and our moving van actually caught fire in the process, and we just lost everything, like all toys, everything gone. Um, so he couldn't really do anything. So my dad went out and got an NES entertainment system back in the like 1989 or whatever, 1990. And that was like the only thing we had to play for I don't know how long, but it felt like a while.
Oh wow.
So I was really too young to really know what the hell I was doing. But my brother was, he was 5 years older than me, so he was actually like playing Mario, and my dad was playing with him and stuff. That's what really got me into gaming. And I just always been in and around gaming and stuff for forever, right? So as I've gotten older, though, it gets harder to sit down and play console games for hours on end. So I've kind of taken to mobile gaming over the last, like I'd say, 5 to 8 years because it's just so accessible. It's so much easier to play on the run, on
Yeah.
the road, wherever you are, and that's what makes it, easier to keep up with gaming, right? So I started. I don't remember all the games I played, but the last game that I played pretty hardcore on mobile was a game called Magic the Gathering,
Okay.
Puzzle Quest. So it's a combination of a couple of games that I played before, and I got really into this game. I got into a cluster essentially for it, and I was like in one of the top tier alliances for that, or guild is what they called it.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because it kind of was going the same route that Scopely's going, right? Where things are not working right, cards aren't working right, lots of bugs and issues and stuff. And so people were looking to jump ship to another game. And granted, this was a cluster of like hundreds and hundreds of players. And so they all got into this new MSF game because a couple of them knew like devs or something from Fox Next. And they were just like, come on over, come on over. They were trying to get all the like the really like high-end competitive players from that game to switch over. And that's what got me into it, actually. It was like I started like a month after launch, and I just kind of took off from there because it's an IP that I'm really familiar with. I love all the Marvel movies. I've seen them all probably at least like 6 times. I mean, several of them, many more than that. And I just really got into it, and after a while, I got into the Reddit community. I got to learn more about the community and learn more about like some of the few content creators they had really back then. And I thought I could contribute something to the community on how to do raids, on how to do arena. And And so I just started making like some YouTube videos and trying to do voiceovers and stuff, and it took a while. I mean, I've actually gone back to watch some of my really old stuff on YouTube, and it's terrible. Like it's just awful. Like it's just like I was like, should I delete this? Like, but it's kind of humorous, right? Like it's
Right.
kind of funny to go back and see, like, oh yeah, I used to do that. Really?
Yeah,
What
it's
was
the
that?
growth.
What was I doing? Like, what was I thinking? That's terrible. Why was I using that character? You know, it's really kind of funny. Like you can just go back and look, but in any case, yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, and then I eventually just kind of graduated and started, learning more about how to do it better, and eventually got into streaming too. After I learned how to do some other stuff better,
Yeah.
it just kind of depends. Like as you grow and you learn more about the craft of what you're doing, whether it's gaming or drinking or whatever you enjoy, right? Like you can get better, you can always improve, and I think just having that drive in general, no matter what you apply it to, it's gonna pay dividends down the road. You're gonna feel more confident, feel better about what you're doing if you push yourself to learn more and be better.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
that's kind of where I've come from, and it's just it's evolved and changed over the years, and I don't know how long I've been doing this, but it's probably like almost 2 years, I would guess, at
That's
least as far as
crazy.
streaming goes.
It feels like it's gone so fast for you. I mean, you started in another game, you came into this game, you're looking at a position of like, ooh, like this is something I really already know. The learning curve is a little easy because you know the characters have certain abilities, so you don't have to like be in the game constantly learning, oh, is this a good character or not, just because of his abilities. You can already kind of have that idea in your head. Then you jump and fast forward into into the world of the bigger Marvel Strike Force community. You start streaming, you make these YouTube videos, you actually end up being able to be a part of the Marvel Strike Force Envoy program. Which
I'm not in the Envoy. No, I'm not Envoy.
well, not anymore, right? You're not anymore.
I wasn't ever in it.
Oh, you were never in it. Oh, okay.
No, I've never been invited or anything.
Okay, I thought you were inside of that, or I thought you had information, or I thought you were a part of that group.
Nah, I'm just
I
a
thought you
regular
left.
dude, man.
You're just a regular dude.
I'm just a dude.
So you're a demigod then. You're Hercules. You're not one of the other people. Now,
yeah, no, I'm just a regular guy. I'm just hanging out, having fun playing games. That's my thing.
so what really made you decide that you wanted to come up and be like, hey, I'm Dutch Rudder? Like, where does your username come from?
Okay, that's a good one. So I used to play World of Warcraft really hardcore for several years, and I always just
which
chose
version?
hilarious names.
Which version?
So I can tell you, I started on the night that South Park aired the episode of Make Love Not Warcraft. That was like my buddy and I, my roommate in college and I were sitting there watching that episode. We just laughed our asses off the whole time through that episode. We were just like, we gotta download this game and go play it, right?
Yeah.
And so we downloaded it. It took a little while because back then, gigabit wasn't really a thing.
Right.
But we ended up playing it at some point that night, and making characters together on a horde server somewhere, and just like I made like a little orc hunter, and I think he did like a troll shaman, and we just ran around doing stuff. And it was right before the Burning Crusade expansion came out, so it's still technically vanilla WoW, but it was towards the end of vanilla, right?
Yeah.
Burning Crusade was coming out. That episode was actually meant to hype the first new big expansion pack of World of Warcraft at the time, and so Burning Crusade is kind of where I cut my teeth and got into top tier rating guild and all that. I ended up making I switched over to Alliance. I made a human priest, shadow priest actually is what I mostly played, that, and a night elf warrior. So
nice.
Those are my two things. And I was in one of the top two guilds on my server for a long time there. We were the first ones to take down what's the guy's name? I can't think of his name. The guy with the demon guy with the two orange glaives that had the 5% legendary chance drop.
I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, so at some point, I had my name reset by the admins, and so I just had to make a new one. And I just read an article on Fark, which is a hilarious news site, and it was just like it was just they used the term, and I was just like, okay, I'll just name myself my new character, my character that, because it's just like it's very innocuous. Nobody knows what this is. Like it's just hilarious. And yes, Illidan is the person I was trying to think of. It's been a while since I played WoW. But yeah, it was just hilarious, like just to throw it out there, like nobody really like it's just a random like a word, like nobody really knows what it means generally, um, until that Zack and Miri movie came out, and then it ruined it. So
Oh my gosh,
it
that's
was
funny.
hilarious because like nobody had any idea that it was even a term. Like it was just oh okay, this guy's from you know the Netherlands. He
Yeah.
likes boats. But
So
yeah, I've had like tons of iterations of it, like Dutch or Dutchy is also like I'm cool with those names. I don't know. It's funny. That's all. It's just meant to be hilarious and slightly under the radar as far as like word filters go.
I mean, it's fairly under the radar, and at the same time, it's like I love the. It's almost like I love the song "Pass the Dutch" or "Pass the
Yeah.
Pass the Dutchie" so much that I'm gonna name myself that, which is hilarious.
Yep.
I don't know. I think it's a really funny thing, and obviously it has another connotation as well, which is really funny.
Yep.
So you can always like play with so many different things there, which is really cool.
Yep.
Now you've played games. You play MSF a lot. What other what other games have you played besides MSF, or what other games are you into? Like,
Sure. Yeah, so I generally like play a lot of FPS games. So like I still play PUBG, right? PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds with some friends from high school and stuff. We usually get on there. We're not like super great at it, but it's hilarious because we just enjoy like shooting people and like driving around and randomly getting blown up here and there or blowing up other people. It's just fun. I play. Let's see, man. I'm trying to think of what else I've been playing lately. I've been trying some other mobile games here and there just for fun.
yeah.
Like I have a group, my original alliance in Marvel Strike Force. Most of them have quit the game since because one reason or another. But every month or two, they come up with like, hey, here, try this new mobile game. Like we can all play it. It's free, whatever. Free to play. We can just hang out. So like we're gonna try this new one called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Madness sometime this week. It's just Ninja Turtles like collector game kind of thing. It just looks silly and fun, and I plan on streaming it just for the hell of it because it's just entertaining. Like I love Ninja Turtles. I used to play with them when I was a kid, so
I
like,
love
yeah,
it.
I'm
I
on
love
board.
I love it.
It's like they have Ray Fillet in there, right? Like, how
Yeah.
obscure of a character is
Yeah.
that? I'm just like, yes, all right, I'm in.
You're like, I'm in just because of that one.
I want Ray Fillet. I want to see what he does. And the great thing is like nobody knows how to play this game, so there's like they were posting, tier lists and stuff like that. They're posting in the chat because we made a channel for this game already. Like you can there's different content creators that just have completely opposite like tier lists, and we're not even sure if they're like trolling or just nobody knows how to play this game. Like, they're just like completely backwards and stuff, and it's hilarious. So we're gonna have some fun with that. Just screwing around and stuff. So we did that. We did this idle Death Knight game recently, but we've all kind of dropped it 'cause it got kind of boring. I started playing this game called Summoner's Glory, Eternal War, or something like
Right.
that. And that's kind of a fun game, but you kind of have to catch up to all your friends, which takes a little while. So I'm kind of farming that slowly in the background.
Right.
But primarily I play MSF. That's what I've been on. I also enjoy Overwatch. It's a lot of fun. It's a good game. It's a first-person shooter. It's more of a it's like a first-person MOBA, honestly. The way that you play it. That's a fun game. I also play Here's the Storm sometimes with friends. And then there's a ton of Steam games that I like to play that are just for kicks and stuff, and board games and stuff like Pandemic or Carcassonne or Settlers of Catan is a lot of fun too. I don't know. I love gaming though, so
awesome.
anything that people want to play and be competitive at, I'll take them on.
I'll take them on. Does your family kind of like play games as well, or like is that how you kind of like got into it as well, or do you incorporate them, or you're just like, okay, this is just my time?
Yeah, my brother and I, we do. We grew up playing video games together all the time. Street Fighter and obviously Ninja Turtles back in the day. Yeah, Turtles in Time on Super NES was a lot of fun. Super Mario World, all those games. I have an enormous collection of like old school video games and stuff, probably hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And I just collect them from way back when. Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, all this stuff, and even my old Xbox and Xbox 360 collection. Like, I don't know. I
That's
plan
cool.
on making a big like library shelf kind of setup whenever I get my own office in the new house whenever we move, of just video game memorabilia and stuff. It'll be really cool. I'll show it off once I make it.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. So let's ask a couple other questions. Let's move into something a little bit more interesting about the game and you. What was the moment that hooked you onto MSF?
I mean, really just starting and doing the campaigns and earning some characters. I think that, initially, we forget after playing this game for so long, like how much this game throws at you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, there's just so many things to unlock, so many characters to play with, and so much to do early on. And there's so many challenges to complete. The raids, they do scale pretty well with your account. I imagine nowadays it's a lot easier to scale up quicker than it used to be kind of grindy when you're trying to, just finish Ultimus 5.
Right, exactly.
Get 3 teams to take 8 lanes or whatever and actually finish it all in one go on 3 different strike teams.
Yeah.
Like those were really kind of, tough days way back when you had to coordinate with 24 people and get them all to get their ducks in a row.
Yeah, right. But then you're also like, those were the days though, also too.
Yeah, it was fun, and it does kind of shift and change as the game grows and all that. And now we're kind of in the end game content is where it's getting a little bit slow. But yeah, I think that was it. Just unlocking all those characters and trying to use them. I think it's a lot of fun. There's also kind of a brawler aspect to it where you can take 5 characters that you like and just throw them in there and just play with them, right?
Right.
Especially early on, you're not nearly as penalized for using characters you want to play early. Whereas late game, you really have to use those synergies and build the right tunes, or else you're going to be really, really falling off.
Yeah. Let me ask you a really cool question from the gallery real quick. It's very similar to this. How do you find time to play the games? With a 2-year-old, with a family and this and that, because the game is very busy. It's very taxing on your time.
Yeah.
Early before you could kind of play around, you could do that, but now because the game is accelerated, it's year 3. Not quite year 3, but in that push of year 3.
Yeah, so I mean, the main thing is just knowing like what your schedule is, right? So my kid goes to sleep at 7:30 every night, so that's when we put him down, and he's been pretty good about sticking to that schedule. Only a few nights here and there that he wants to stay up a little later and scream at us and stuff.
Right.
But I mean, and he gets up at 7 to 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the 12-hour thing. He's in daycare. I work during the day. Most of what I do during the day isn't really, too time intensive. Just catch up on raids here and there, do a couple of bliss rotations, and that's about it. Maybe some arena. But I'm at a place where I've kind of dropped down to a less intense alliance too. So,
Right.
we're doing only difficulty 2 Greek raids every day, and then once or every week or two we'll try difficulty 3. We don't do Doom raids more than once a week, and even then we plan it out ahead of time, but we only do it on Sundays when there's no war. There's ways that you can work around this game and still enjoy, the benefits of what we would consider is mostly end game content.
Right.
You can also kind of pick and choose what you want to focus on, right? You don't have to get 1% in every single blitz, right? It's 45 shard difference between 1% and 2% below, but if these characters eventually are going to become farmable, is 45 shards really going to make the difference? Maybe if you're trying to get that extra star, but if not, get your 55 shards and just, be cool with it. Like, I think that's part of the problem with a lot of the community, right? Is that people just expect to get everything.
Speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it.
You gotta hit the brakes a little sometimes. That's all.
That's.
I mean, there are things that I see that I would like them to change in the game to make it more casual friendly. Like I was talking about this on stream the other night when I was doing Doom Raid, and it's just like they just stomped my team. Like it's just like this isn't fun, right?
Right.
But if they had put a difficulty slider in the Doom Raids where it's like difficulty 1 is what it is now, but with no restrictions on traits, like that would be a really fun game mode to go play with, right? Like you can take your whole roster in there and try it, but make the rewards more reasonable for that change, right? And then make a difficulty 2 where there are trait restrictions and it's super intense and heavy, and that's where like the whale alliances end up, right?
Yeah.
Like doing something like that will stage it to where people can still enjoy this new content without beating their head against the wall constantly. And I think that's the problem with this game, is when we see new things come out, it seems like they just cater to the top 0.1% and then just let everybody else just kind of run into that brick wall over and over again. And it's just frustrating for players, and I think that's where we're at with the community. It's just they want more to play, they want more content, there's a desire to play the game, but in a lot of cases they just can't. It's just that it's not available because they just don't have the rosters for it.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Let's get you a little hot. Let's get warmer. How you feeling out there? Is it you got a little sweat burning going on in that chair? All right. What we need to know right now is the Scopely bugs, and you've already touched this. Maybe give us a little bit more about the level of the spending in the game.
Yeah, so I mean, right now I'm just buying the new character offers once, and that's it. So I want to unlock characters that are new. I want to be able to try them on stream and stuff. I think that as a content creator, you kind of have to do that in order to keep up. But other than that, I mean, that's like $75 a month or so, maybe. If there's like some crazy good offer, like those 100 or was it 75 ghost shards for $10 kind of thing, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I'll jump on those here and there, but that's about it. Otherwise, I would advise not buying most of the offers. there's not very many that are worth it.
All right, now we're gonna get into a question that everybody has to answer here. It's a big question. How much money have you spent on the game so far? Now, before you answer that,
I don't know.
What? You don't know?
I don't know.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay, so you don't know how much money you spent in the game so far. The game money that the game money is important to know the level of how much you're not necessarily being accelerated, but really spending any type of money. The first time let's break this down. The first time you press that button of pay, you've given up that wall, and when you give up that wall, where do you see the idea that, hey, you know what, I need to slow down? Like, do you see it at like maybe $100? Do you see it maybe at like $1,000? Do you see it as like, maybe at like 10,000? Like, where is the level of like the?
I mean, it's really dependent on the individual. I mean, what sort of disposable income do you have, first of all, right? So it's going to vary by people. There's some people here that I think the other guy the other day on Reddit said he spent almost $40,000 on this game. And it's just like, well, I hope he has a really good job or some sorts of income, because that's just crazy. I hope he rode that GME stock like way up there before he put all his money in, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know what else like you can say about that. I know I'm nowhere near that kind of craziness.
Yeah.
I know that I don't spend more than what I make off of YouTube, Twitch, and all that.
That's good.
Because I have all those go right to my PayPal account. That's what I use to fund my gaming, whether it's MSF or Steam purchases and all that. So I try to use that as a budget, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of keeps me within a certain amount of spending.
Yeah.
The only time I've really kind of had to go around that is if I really want to buy an offer. Like, I pulled a 7 red long shot a few weeks ago.
Awesome.
And or a few months ago, I guess. And it was when he was new, right? He was in the orb. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy his offer twice for sure. And he was an expensive one, so had to throw some funds towards that. But I was just like, yes, like I will, I will buy some long shots.
I will do that for I will do it for, as they say in World of Warcraft, do it for the horde, right?
Yeah. 7 red long shot is legit though. So I gotta unlock that 7th star though. I'm only at 6 with him. But
right. What was the next character, or what was the character that you I guess cherished the most as your unlock? Was it Longshot because you spent the money, or was it somebody else where you're like, oh, I've longed for this character, I've wanted this? And
the main one was Ultron, getting through DD2, and I did pretty well on DD2. I didn't really push hard for DD1, but for DD2, I think I was like in the 500s rank for unlock, and I felt that was pretty good considering my account was probably in like the 7 to 8,000 rank range for power. But I just, I planned that out. I knew what characters I needed to focus on because I watched other streamers, and that really helped in determining, what to do and what to plan for. And so that's kind of what I based a lot of my guides around, is just making sure that, you're focusing on characters that'll help you go further for the least amount of gear costs and investment.
Yeah. Now, your character that you most cherish for on the opposite end is probably the one that you're like, oh, I just don't want to pull that ever. What character is the worst on the roster? Not a minion.
Electra. I hate her.
Electra.
She only recently got the rework, so I think she's
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah.
for the longest time, I've held the position that she is the worst non-minion character until the Shadowlands rework. So
Yeah.
I think she may edge out like Nebula or Gamora or something like that now. But because at least she has some purpose.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, she was single target, crappy damage, low focus, couldn't dispel anything. And she's just not an interesting character in general to me. So I was just like, whatever. I just that's why I don't want to build Shadowlands actually, is because I don't want to invest in my tier 7 Electra.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because the team, you have pretty much 3 free characters already at this point. You have 2 characters that are going to enhance that group, but once you get further on, they can partially be really good early game or early mid, right? Early/mid, and then you have it go all the way till end game because of the high tier 4s and all that, such and such. Where in the Shadowlands, of your opinion, does this team rank? Does this team rank as a B team, a C team, a D team?
Shadowlands, I would say, or wait, the worst. I'm sorry, which one are we ranking?
So we're ranking the Shadowlands team, B, C, or D, as a whole.
Man, like across the game, I mean, a lot of their bonuses are war specific, so that already knocks them down a tier, I would say. Specifically, as far as war is concerned, they're at least probably a B to an A team, but outside that, I mean, I don't know, man. I think I did an auto blitz win on like an 80k punch up on them with aim, and it worked. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like,
Yeah.
like I think they're just prone to debuff teams or debuff heavy teams potentially. So I haven't really tested enough with them to say I'm not a huge fan of them outside of war. And I only have a concern is that they might not be actually as good as they're supposed to be. Or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say it that way. Yeah, I think they may be actually a little overtuned. I think there may be some mistakes with the way that their speed is programmed, or at least it doesn't seem to match up with the way that their text is written in the character passives. And so I'm hoping that they just, fix that in the text rather than fixing the actual issue. Because if they fix the issue, then they're going to get a big speed reduction on spawn and war, and people aren't going to like that. So
That's true.
Make a lot of people unhappy if they invested in them.
That's very, very, very true. We've gotten 2 really quickly. I'll give you an either or. We've gotten two teams. We've gotten 2 teams that have basically are only war offense viable in the last 3 months. We got Skilletary and Shadowlands. Both those teams are high T4. Both those teams are all about war offense. Both those teams are very low opinioned. They are like, people are blowing them off. I've blown them off. I don't like Skilletary at all.
Yeah, I skipped Skilletary.
Who do you think's better?
I think Shadowlands is a superior war team for offense. But at the same time, it's just a matter of like, what's the rest of the team look like on your roster, right?
Yeah.
I think both those teams have like 3 existing characters, and so it's just you have to look at it and think like, well, how much do I have to build up the rest of these guys to make them useful? Like, I've already got a tier 14, almost tier 15 Punisher, so that's kind of an interest to me to go Skilletary. But at the same time, it's like, where's your Daredevil, or where's your Daredevil, where's your Elektra, if these characters are already built up pretty well, then maybe it is worth it to go towards one team or the other. But I think they're both just specifically war offense teams. The only other thing I would mention is that of those teams, I think Red Guardian is the most useful outside of war and everywhere else, because his just innate kit is fine without any synergy with anyone else. It is really, really good. And so that one in particular is worth building on its own.
Heard it right there first, guys. All right, let's move on to some other questions here. Let's talk about the person himself, Mr. Dutch.
Yeah.
What's the worst advice you've ever given? He almost spit out his beer.
I don't know. Man, can't think of anything. Jeez, I hadn't really thought about this one. See, I don't know. I mean, things that are falling out of meta now, maybe, that aren't as good as they used to be. I mean, as far as building teams and stuff go, I mean, I got a lot of resources out there and stuff that back up what I've said and done. But I mean, nowadays, I mean, I guess maybe some of my old DD3 recommendations are no longer relevant because they've been outclassed by newer characters, and I never went back to really update them.
Yeah.
So you don't really need like Phoenix Colossus for DD3 anymore. But back in the day, that was the way to get through, because Emma didn't exist, ISO didn't exist, right? Like there's a ton of good characters that have come out since then that outclassed them considerably. Although DD3 is still a very hard mode once you get there, just because the damage tuning is so high.
It's very true. All right, let's ask you a question about food. You're a beer drinker. Beer is complements of so many different types of foods. Beer is fun. We like food. Houston, Texas, they always have great food.
Mm-hmm.
But the real question is about pizza. Pizza is a very, very complimented food with beer. But does pineapple belong on pizza?
No, not really. No.
All right, you said not really. So why not really? What is it about pineapple for you?
I just don't think you need anything citrusy on pizza. That's
no
all.
citrus.
It needs to be tomato sauce, meat, cheese, veggies here and there, and maybe some mushrooms. I don't know. I never really had a pineapple pizza I really liked. So
what's your ideal pizza?
I don't understand the fascination with it.
What's your ideal pizza?
Mine would be traditional, like red sauce, lots of mozzarella cheese, pepperoni, capricola, so the spicy salami, that kind of stuff on it, as well as maybe some black olives and mushrooms.
All right, I like it already. Now, when you were young, we want to know, when you were young, what was one of the funnest things that you did that you were young that, brought you to who you are today? Like, was it gaming? Was it sports? Was it, obviously not beer drinking, but was it,
yeah,
like,
not really.
What was something that you brought from your childhood to your adulthood?
Definitely gaming for sure. I really enjoy playing games, whether they're board games or video games or just sports in general, right? I've always enjoyed playing sports. I grew up playing baseball and soccer quite a bit.
Cool.
Probably all the way to high school. I stopped in high school, though. I wasn't good enough to, do like varsity teams and stuff like that. So I was just dropped that, focused on school and stuff instead, and playing video games. I've always been competitive by nature when it comes to games. So I enjoy just the thrill of, trying to win. And I also really enjoy like good competition, right? I don't want to just steamroll people. It's like if they're good players too, then you got to respect that and enjoy like the fight,
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you lied?
When was the last time I lied? let's see. I don't know. Let's see. I guess.
You don't have to say what it was. You just tell me when that was.
Oops. Okay, going soon. Man, I don't know.
That's a good thing.
I can't really think of anything.
Have you lied during this interview?
I don't think so.
That's good.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, right.
And I try to be pretty straightforward with people. I try not to, lie about anything. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
All right, well, that's good. Last question. One Infinity Stone in a fight or a usage. You have an Infinity Stone in the palm of your hand. You get to use it. What would you do with it?
Do I get to pick the stone?
You get to pick the stone.
Oh yeah, time stone.
Time stone?
Mind stone, I'm sorry. To go back in time and do whatever you want. Like, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
You could do anything with that. You could just go back in time and invest in Apple stock in 1990 and then just put it all in your name. Like, just take $100 with you, or however much you can get together, and go to the bank and cash it in, make an account, and then go invest it in some crazy awesome stocks, and then just come back to real time, and you're just like a multi-billionaire.
And then
build. Like, oh my gosh.
And then you can build MSF.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can buy MSF and make it great again, It's silly. Like, I mean, there's so many things that I would rather do from a creative direction side of things than what they're doing. It's a shame. Like, it really is. But, that's why I gotta play some other games, try some different things. And
Exactly.
things
Branching out. Very true. All right, we're going to do a very quick quiz here. We're going to do a very quick quiz. And the quiz, my friend, is, let's see if we can get this going. You're going to pick a number. Okay, we're going to do a countdown of 2 minutes. You are going to pick a number, and I am going to basically give you a character that you have chosen for a superpower. Okay, so we're going to do a superpower quiz. You're going to pick the number of the 1 through 29. All right. And in that, I will give you the character, and you have to tell me that character's superpowers. So,
Okay.
go ahead and throw a number. 7. You have chosen the blind, red, Hell's Kitchen warrior, Daredevil. All right?
All right.
Can you pick Daredevil's powers from the fakes is the question. You have 5, you're going to have 5 basically that you're going to have to figure out. We're going to get the countdown going, and then we're going to head into our PvP in just a moment. So, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Countdown going. And here we are. Demonic possession.
No.
No is correct. Very good. Enhanced hearing.
Yes.
Yes. Enhanced smell.
No.
Ooh, that is the wrong answer. He does have enhanced smell. Does he have enhanced taste?
I don't know. I don't think so.
He
I
does.
don't know how that would help.
I know, right?
All of his senses are enhanced, I think. I don't know.
Yes, enhanced touch.
Sure, why not?
All right. Yes, that is. He does. All right. Fire manipulation.
I don't think so. I hope not. He's blind. I mean,
He's blind. He doesn't even know where it goes. He's like, we're just gonna throw some fire somewhere here.
Sorry, I didn't see that guy in the way.
All right. Flight.
No.
All right. Mind control. Shape shifting.
No.
Sonar vision.
Yes.
Sorcery.
No.
Very good. We also have superhuman courage.
Sure, I guess that's a superpower.
No, that's not a. That's no.
He's
No.
not courageous.
He's
a
not
blind guy rolling around and jumping off buildings and stuff. And
Well,
he's not courageous.
I mean, he is. I guess he's the man without fear, right? He is the man without fear. And
Sounds pretty courageous to me.
I know, right? But is it superhuman? Is the question. Superhuman speed?
No.
Oh, and that is the end right there. And he doesn't have superhuman speed, and he does not have superhuman strength as well. So he's just a guy with some just enhanced senses, man. But
Yeah.
he's a really cool guy. Do you like Daredevil in general?
He's an alright character. He's not one of my favorites. No, I much prefer Deadpool. We're
Alright.
talking about like masked red guys.
Yeah, right. I know, masked red guys. That's funny. All right, guys. He has withstood the hot seat, everyone. Nice round of applause for him as he got that done. Did you feel the heat a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad you felt the heat
Getting
a
a little
little
warm
bit.
in here.
A little warm. All right. Well, now to turn it up, we're going to head into our PvP section of the evening or afternoon for some of you guys as well. I mean, it's day over here in LA, and it's mid-time for him. So let's head into our PvP, and let's see if we can get another match that's close, that's good, that's inviting, and, well, let's just say, can I get a win? All right. So,
Hey, Sage. I'm sorry, I gotta cut it off here. I really gotta run and go pick up my kid from school and stuff.
oh no.
Could we maybe do this tonight? Could we do it on stream or something tonight?
We will have to get back to that. So, no problem. So what I'm gonna end up doing is I'll just have you sign off really quick. Where can everyone find you?
I'll be on YouTube. Look for Dutch Rudder's gaming channel, or on Twitch, just twitch.tv/Dutch Rudder.
Okay.
I stream generally in the evenings around like 10, 11 CST time, usually for a couple hours here and there, and I dual stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So if you miss me or you want to catch up on things, check out the VOD on YouTube. It's always there. And yeah, I appreciate just hanging out with people, chatting, and having a good time.
No problem. Well, I'm so sorry we went a little over your time. I'm glad. Did you have fun at least? I know we
Yeah,
went
it's a
over.
good time.
That's
no,
great.
I'd be happy to do anything with you. Anytime you want to hang out or do a dual stream together, let me know. I'd be happy to do some
We're
stuff.
gonna
We can
get
work
you
something
out of here. Thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate all the work that you've done for the community and all the things that you do. Go take care of your business. We'll try and get another PvP match. Right now, I'll just put a 0 or at the end of the match here. So thank you so much. We're gonna wave goodbye to Dutch Rudder, everybody. So thank you so much for being here, man, and have a great evening.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks
You're
for having
welcome.
me.
Cheers.